Hello and good day, everyone. In this virtual presentation, we will discuss with you about the human flourishing and science technology as a way of revealing the good life. But before that, allow me first to introduce my co-members that part of this presentation. Meet Miss Jana Marie Bunhayag, Miss Maria Dairo, Miss Jonalyn Peligro, Miss Mary Jean Manondo, and yours truly, I am Miss Robeliat Falgarinas, and we are the Group 1 from BS Ed Math 22. Our learning objectives. By the end of this lesson, students will be able to explain the role of science and technology in promoting human flourishing, analyze how technology reveals opportunities for achieving the good life, and evaluate the ethical and societal challenges of technological advancement. So, I'm expecting that we are all positive to achieve these learning objectives through your time and cooperation. Let's have a quick overview first of what is science, technology, and society, or also known in short STS. Science, technology, and society is a field of study that looks at the connections between science, technology, and people, we as a society. And it also study of how science and technology affect people and our communities. It explains how science and technology change the way we live. So meaning, through learning STS helps us understand how the tools and discoveries we create change our lives, our culture, and our world. It also looks at how our values and choices as a society influence the science and technology we develop. So instead of just focusing on the facts of science, STS explores the bigger picture, which is the human story behind the inventions. But why this topic matters today? First, it helps us make smart choices about how we live and what kind of future we want. This field helps us think carefully about the fast changes happening all around us because of the power of technology. It teaches us to ask important questions like what the long term effects might be and how to use technology in a way that is good for everyone. So, this helps us navigate the challenges and opportunities of our modern high tech world. STS, or the science, technology, and society, is very important, especially this contemporary world, because technology is everywhere, right? From our phones, our gadget that we use, those technology in our house that we also used to up to the artificial intelligence or AI that evolving today's world. Let's have a quick overview first of what is science, technology, and society, or also known in short STS. Science, technology, and society is a field of study that looks at the connections between science, technology, and people, we as a society. And it also study of how science and technology affect people and our communities. It explains how science and technology change the way we live. So meaning, through learning STS helps us understand how the tools and discoveries we create change our lives, our culture, and our world. It also looks at how our values and choices as a society influence the science and technology we develop. So instead of just focusing on the facts of science, STS explores the bigger picture, which is the human story behind the inventions. Preview of key themes such as human flourishing, technology, and the good life. In this presentation, we will explore the three key ideas. We will know how technology helps us live a full and meaningful life a concept known as human flourishing and technology that Miss Jana will be discussed it later. Technology as a way of revealing will be tackled by Miss Jonalyn, and the good life and real life applications will be discussed by Miss Mary Jane, and then the challenges, reflections, and conclusion will be shared by Miss Mariel. We will see that technology can be a great tool for good, but it can also bring problems. Before I will end my part, my co-members will discuss next how to find the right balance so that we can use technology to build a better life, not just for ourselves, but for our whole community. And I will give the virtual presentation to Miss Jana Marie Bunhayag.
What is human flourishing and technology? Okay, we already know about technology and its importance to our lives nowadays, so let's go deeper with human flourishing. Human flourishing is the process of enhancing an individual's abilities, qualities, and values in different aspects of one's life. The goal is to live a meaningful, fulfilling life with purpose and well being. Human flourishing means growing and becoming the best version of yourself. It includes being healthy, learning new things, having good relationships, like for example, with your family, friends, and your boyfriends or girlfriends or partners, classmates, making good choices, and living a life with purpose and happiness. So it's important to know yourself. We have 10 key aspects of human flourishing. First, we have physical well being. It means staying healthy, eating well, and living in a safe place. You should do the healthy lifestyles, like, for example, eating balanced diet meals, sleeping regularly, drinking 6 or 8 to 10 glasses per day, exercise regularly, and of course, don't forget to apply proper hygiene to yourself. Second, emotional and mental wellness. It means feeling calm, strong, and supported. Having optimistic thoughts and feelings can help you conquer different challenges for you to fulfill your purpose in life. You're not afraid to face because you know that you can do it by yourself and, of course, with the help of your loved ones. Third, intellectual growth. Learning, thinking clearly, and being creative. Well, through intellective growth, it will also build up ourself. Like for example, you want to learn about mathematical problems since it's your major, and you want to expand your learnings. So you're not just relying on one educational tool like books since it has limited topics. You can explore through internet and with the use of your devices and tools, you can search different learning resources and you can enter different topics so that you can expand. You're not just relying on easy examples, you can also try difficult ones. And for you, it will be easier for you to solve not just math, but in real life situations. You can also use your creative minds so that you're not just relying on simple layout of your learnings. You can also be creative so that you can be more engaged in learning and it will be never boring. Like for example in learning math. Because math is not just numbers. We can also apply designs like measuring designs, you know? We can even the borders, we use rulers. Borders in bond papers, we use rulers. Well, it's helpful so that we can make it balance. Fourth, we have moral and ethical development. Being kind, honest, and responsible. Since we're living in society, of course, we need to makisama with other people. We cannot live without the help of them, without the function of them. Because from food manufacturers, from drinking clean water, from paying bills and water, we cannot provide our basic necessities without the help of others. So it's important to apply proper ethics to ourselves. We should uphold integrity, we should develop virtues to ourselves. Because at the end of the day, we are the one who can really help to build ourselves, to provide the needs to achieve flourishing. Fifth, one's the important, which is social connection and belonging. Since we're living in society, we need to interact with other people whether we like it or not. So it's really important to build relationships like having friends, family, and being part of a community. Purpose and meaning. It means knowing your goals and what makes life important. With the help of social connections and belonging, we can find our true purpose and meaning. We can know what are our strengths and weaknesses, what are our likes and dislikes, what specific groups are we need to join to. And that's knowing your purpose. Environmental harmony. Taking care of nature and living clean. Of course, we need to apply discipline because we really, really rely on Mother Nature. And Mother Nature could be our worst enemy. Humans could be abusive. Not just could, but can abusive. To the point that it can destroy our surroundings, our environment, and can cause disasters. So, we need to maintain peace, clean, and green communities. Like for example, we can properly trash our trashes. We can avoid illegal logging. We can recycling things that can be still usable. Freedom and autonomy. It means making your own choices and expressing yourself. But again, we need to know our limits and control our feelings and thoughts so that we can avoid hurts, we cannot avoid danger or any harm from others. Economic stability and opportunity. It means having money, a job, and chances to grow. We need to be practical because we need to provide our own basic necessities as well as providing our wants. We need to be financially stable, so that's why we study hard in college, taking a bachelor degree, examining licensure examination, and finding stable jobs. For us to help not just for ourselves, but of course to our loved ones like family, friends, and our partners. Spiritual fulfillment. It means feeling connected to faith, beliefs, or deep thoughts. Other key aspects of living, like physical, mental, and emotional well being, cannot be functionally well without the help of our spirituality. We need to build strong relationship with God. We need to give faith. We need to trust Him. We're not just to be too religious, but we need to have relationships so that we can be saved and we can be guided. How technology helps human flourishing. So these are the impacts of technology on human flourishing in terms of healthcare, education, communication, and environment. So of course we cannot dive to different key aspects of living without a good health. We need to be strong. But sometimes we cannot resist or we cannot avoid illnesses. So we need doctors and medical treatments. With the help of technology, it helps doctors find and treat sickness faster, and lets people get care even from far away. Second, education, not just relying on traditional settings like classroom, the chalkboard, or books with limited topics, but we can explore a wide various topics through online tools to make our learning easier and available to more students. Third, communication. Phones and apps help people talk, share, and work together from anywhere. For instance, OFWs or overseas Filipino workers are far, far away from their family or loved ones. But they can still communicate, they can talk, they can even see each other's faces with the help of our technology. We can already send messages or calls in just 1 second. That's the power of technology and environment. New inventions help energy save, reduce pollution, and protect the planet. The role of science and technology help people and communities live better lives. They make things easier, faster, and more connected, like improving healthcare, education, communication, and protecting the environment. People flourish when they live healthy, happy, and meaningful lives. Technology helps by making life easier, solving problems, and giving more chances to grow and connect.
Hello, I'm Jonalyn, and now let's move on to the next topic, which is technology as a way of revealing. I'll explain how technology does more than make life easier. It actually shapes what we see and how we understand the world. So, who is Martin Heidegger? Martin Heidegger is a German philosopher and a seminal thinker in the continental tradition of philosophy. He is widely acknowledged to be one of the most original and important philosophers of the 20th century. So Martin Heidegger was a German philosopher and a central figure in the 20th century continental philosophy. He explored deep questions about existence, truth, and meaning. Though he is not a scientist, his ideas about technology are influential because he asks how technology changes our experience of being in the world. Now, what does revealing means? To reveal is to uncover, expose, or make something visible that was once hidden. Technology functions as a lens that brings things into the open. Heidegger connects this with the Greek term aletheia, which means unconcealment or truth. So when Heidegger uses the word revealing, he means uncovering or making visible what was previously hidden. Think of technology as a kind of lens that brings things into the open. Heidegger ties this idea to a Greek term, aletheia, which refers to unconcealment or truth. Revealing is thus a way for truth to appear. Now, what do we mean when we say reality? According to Heidegger, it is not given the same way in all times and all cultures, not something absolute that human beings can ever know once and for all. Reality is relative in most literal sense of the word. It exists only in relations. It is inaccessible for human beings. As soon as we perceive or try to understand it, it is not in itself anymore, but reality for us. So Heidegger argues that reality is not a single fixed thing that we can fully capture. Instead, reality is shaped by historical, cultural, and practical context, how people and a certain time and place disclose the world. In other words, what counts as real depends on how we reveal or interpret the word. Revealing is therefore an active human process. Is technology for Heidegger? Philosopher Martin Heidegger argued that technology is also a way of revealing, which means it helps uncover truth and realities about the world that are normally hidden from us. He strongly opposes the view that technology is a means to an end or a human activity. Heidegger points out technological objects are meant for ends, and are built and operated by human beings. But the essence of technology is something else entirely. Technology, according to Heidegger, must be understood as a way of revealing. So for Heidegger, technology is not technology is not merely machines, gadgets, or tools. He describes technology as a way of revealing. It is a manner in which aspects of the world are brought into view. Heidegger resists the idea that technology is only a means to an end or merely a human activity. Instead, he says the essence of technology lies in how it shapes what we notice and what we ignore. Now we have here the positive sides of revealing. First one, the technology allows us to uncover realities hidden from the human eye. For example, microscopes reveal microorganisms while telescopes expose galaxies beyond our reach. Second, by revealing hidden processes, technology creates solutions that directly improves health and safety. For example, like MRI scans show the body's inner condition, while satellites reveal climate patterns for disaster readiness. The third one is technology opens new pathways for learning by uncovering patterns and truths we could not see before. Artificial intelligence, for example, it reveals hidden connections in data that expand knowledge.
So, good day everyone. As the second to the last reporter, I'll be discussing the good life and the real life application. So, the perspective of STS reminds us that science and technology is not just all about invention or convenience, they also help us to shape the way we live, think, and relate to one another. The good life. According to STS, the good life is not just all about comfort or wealth, but it's about living meaningfully, moral, and sustainably in a society shaped by science and technology. So, according to the STS perspective, science and technology are not just tool or invention, they are deeply connected to society. This means that every scientific discovery or technological innovation affects the way people live, think, and interact. At the same time, society also shapes the development of science and technology through culture, politics, economic, and ethics. So there are three common STS asked about the good life. First is how do technology influence our values, relationships, and opportunities? Second is who benefits from innovation and who might be left behind? Third is, are we design technology that truly support human dignity and well-being? So in short, STS reminds us that the goal of innovation should not only be in progress or convenience, but also in human flourishing, equity, and sustainability. The question is technology helping or harming our pursuit? So we all know that technology is both helping and harming. But first, let's talk about helping. Healthcare, from the STS view, medical technology like telemedicine, robotic surgery, and health apps improve quality of life by expanding access and saving lives. When we say education, according to SCS, it emphasizes how digital tools and AI based learning platforms promote inclusivity, personalized learning, and equal opportunities for students. Lastly, for the connectivity, communication technologies strengthen social bond,
allow global collaboration, and widen access to information. On the other side, technology is also harming. In terms of digital divide, according to STS, points out that unequal access to technology creates inequality where some benefits while others are excluded. Next is surveillance and privacy. According from STS standpoints, technology can threaten human rights when personal data is misused or monitored without consent. Lastly is the environmental impact. STS highlights how e-waste, overproduction, and resource extraction harm ecosystem, making sustainability a serious concern. So now, let's talk about balancing innovation with ethics and sustainability. To truly support the good life, innovation must be first, ethical, respecting human rights, privacy, and fairness. Second is inclusive, designed for diverse communities, not just privileged groups. Next is sustainable, minimizing harm to the planet and future generations. So, in real life application, there are three cases. First is the renewable energy. Renewable energy includes resources like solar, wind, hydro, and geothermal power technologies that produce energy without depleting natural resources or polluting the environment. So there are three perspectives according to STS. It can promote sustainability and environmental justice. Second is empower communities, especially in rural or off-grid areas. The lastly is encourage encourages ethical innovation by reducing dependence on fossil fuel. So according to STS perspectives, renewable energy is a step towards sustainability and environmental justice. It improves rural and off-grid communities by giving them access to energy while also reducing dependence on harmful fossil fuel. Next is the medical technology. Medical tech includes telemedicine, wearable health monitor, and robotic surgery. So there are three STS perspectives. The first is enhance access to healthcare, especially in underserved regions. Second is raises ethical question about data privacy, consent, and equity. Lastly is encourages responsible design to ensure safety and fairness. So, according to STS, medical technology enhances access to healthcare and improve human well-being. At the same time, it raises ethical questions about data privacy, consent, and fairness, reminding us that innovation must prioritize safety and equity. So lastly is the AI in education. Artificial intelligence in education includes adaptive learning platforms, automated grading system, and virtual tutor. So there are three perspectives. First is to support personalized learning and inclusive education. Second is challenges traditional rules of teachers and raises concerns about algorithmic biases. Third is encourages critical thinking about fairness, transparency, and human oversight. So according to STS perspectives, AI in education as a tool for personalized and inclusive learning. However, it is also challenges traditional roles of teachers and bringing concerns about algorithmic bias, fairness, and transparency. It encourages critical reflection on how these tools are designed and applied.
Good day, everyone. I am Mariel Dairo, the last reporter. For my part, I will talk about the challenges and reflections related to science and technology. We have already seen how technology can improve our lives, but it is also important to look at the problems it brings. By understanding these challenges, we can think of ways to use technology wisely and for the good of all. The first challenge is overdependence on technology. Many of us rely too much on gadgets and machines. This can reduce real human interaction and make our critical thinking weaker because we let technology decide for us. It also brings health risk. For example,
Using phones or computers for too long can cause eye strain, lack of sleep, and even a sedentary lifestyle, which is not healthy for our bodies. So while technology helps us, we must also learn to balance it with real life skills, face to face communication, and healthy habits. This second challenge is inequality in access. Not everyone has the same chance to use technology. The rich usually have better devices, faster internet, and more knowledge, while the poor may struggle just to connect. This digital divide creates unfair opportunities in education and work. For example, students with internet at home can do online research and classes easily, while those without access are left behind. This shows that technology can sometimes widen the gap between the rich and the poor if we don't act to make access fair for all. Now, aside from access, there are also serious issues about how technology is used and controlled. The third challenge is ethical concerns. Technology raises many questions about what is right and wrong. One problem is data privacy. Our personal information is often collected by apps, websites, or even surveillance cameras. If misused, it can put our safety at risk. Another problem is misinformation and bias. For example, AI or online platforms can spread fake news quickly or sometimes show unfair results because of hidden bias in the system. This can influence how people think, vote, or even get jobs. That's why ethics, rules, and values must always guide technology. Finally, we also need to think about the effect of technology in our environment. The last challenge is the environmental effect. Making gadgets and machines requires resources from the earth, and throwing them away creates electronic waste. Using technology also needs a lot of energy, like running big data centers and factories. This causes pollution and contributes to climate change. If technology is not sustainable, it may improve our lives today but harm the future of our planet. That is why we should always connect technology with care for the environment. So, after looking at these challenges, let us reflect. How can we make sure technology truly helps us live the good life? As we near the end of our presentation, we want to leave you with one important question. How can we use technology to truly live the good life? This reflection matters because technology is already a big part of our daily lives. But the real challenge is not only about creating or using technology, it is about making sure it leads us towards a better, more meaningful, and more human future. So technology should always serve people, not control them. It must be used to connect us, improve learning, support health, and protect the environment. To truly live the good life, we need to balance progress with ethics, fairness, and sustainability. Every time we develop or use new technology, we should ask who benefits from this, who might be harmed or left out, and how can we improve it so it helps everyone. In this way, technology becomes not just a tool for advancement, but a path toward human flourishing and better life for all. This concludes our presentation. We have seen that while technology brings great benefits, it also carries risks and challenges. The most important lesson is that technology must be guided by human values, responsibility, and care for others. Only then it can help us achieve the true meaning of the good life. Thank you for listening.